So you have the tool. You have the workhorse here. Can you explain
Yeah.
what we have?
Well, this is where it starts the whole 9 yards. This was the Nikon F. That's the one legendary Nikon F. This one is serial number 72, so it was made
Wow.
in 72. But they were using this in 69. This just came from the Vietnam era when Japan came in, and it was the hardest camera to damage. It was
Really?
like a workhorse, and every photographer held this. And a Leica, I had my first Leica was probably an M3 two-stroke, which and between those two cameras, they would function so well. This one you had to take apart and you unload it and load it. And same way with the Leica.
Yeah.
And but they would sand water things. For all these years, I haven't done anything with this thing, and it still works. Whereas my other pro cameras, you can, over the period of time, this one came in probably about. This is my English camera. I saved these. I need to get them repaired.
Okay.
But these are the original ones. These are the ones that. This was the high-end one that I had. This is my self-portrait there, but this was this survived. Africa, Uganda. Belfast and all those good
So
places.
some of those stories that you were telling me, this is the camera
This
that
is
you
the
had
camera,
with it.
yeah. I keep them, and now I have to really repair them. I mean, last time this gentleman was here, I took one out and I thought, my God, this hasn't been repaired, and so I couldn't even shut it. So I'm sending that one out, and this one, and then the next one later on. These are all pro cameras. I was trying to keep hold of the pro cameras. This was the Nikon F3. This was the New York days. This was days of covering the conventions, Ronald Reagan, and all those good things. And this was made like a brick house. It really was. And the camera over here, you're looking at
This one here.
I think it's a D5.
Okay.
And that was the last of the. Well, they came out with the D6 actually.
Okay.
But this is the last one that were used by photographers. This one is like it actually has a 300-2.8, which became a mainstay of all my sporting photography. And so this one shot.
So all your Olympics and things of that nature.
All that.
This is what you're using.
That's the one I was using. That's the one that shot the picture of Chad going into second base.
Wow.
Used on the, and they would use Chad's picture not in just a billboard. They would use triple billboards.
Yeah.
And they had
I remember.
all the things around here.
And for those asking, it's Chadwick Boseman in the movie 42.
42.
Yes.
And I mean, I carried that camera around. It was part of me. I mean, it's like now lifting some of that stuff is harder. But I wanted to get the TC 400 2.8, which is the 400 millimeter compared to the 300. And that is this dynamite lens. And I've had to go into the limits this time. I think I got been able to use one. But but I don't shoot that kind of. Well, I still do. I mean, you never stop shooting, no matter what. I still. As recently as I just did a movie called Bel Air, for Peacock Station, I think it's Peacock, and they wanted me to be a photographer shooting Essence picture. Let me show you the Essence picture for it. But that just came on season 3, and I did Air last year about Nike and
the one about Jordan.
Michael Jordan,
yes,
and again we had, and so I'm still staying current. I don't do as much. Well, no, that's not true. You can still see my, bulletproof vests and all the war material I have. Yeah, because I'm ready to go anytime. Except I had a accident when I was covering the inauguration of Camilla and Biden. But so when you see,
are you going to be when she gets elected this time? You're going to be there as well.
As what?
Are you going to be at the inauguration once she gets inaugurated?
I can. It all depends on the time. This shot we shot for. So this is going to be on Bel Air, and so I'm playing the part of a photographer. And since my operation, besides finding Jesus for the second time, it's like because I had when I came back from that trip in D.C., they discovered that they were treating me for Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
So they found, and I said, I can't even stand here. I'm going to get off these pills. I got off the pills, and are you getting in the back of what do you? Okay.
Come back around, dude.
So I'm calling back there. I get off the pills, and then have a balance.
Right.
My balance started helping.
Okay.
But I got back here and they discovered that they did CT scan and spinal tap,
Okay.
and discovered I had hydrocephalitis, water on the brain.
Wow.
So I had to put a shunt in my brain. So I couldn't walk for about I'd say a good 6 months. Then it took me, and my sport was always trail running. I would
Yes,
do
yeah.
extremes. I never did anything like so.
Right.
I'm a badass motorcyclist.
Yeah.
I can't think about going down green runs on skiing.
Right.
Triple blacks were my mainstay in Europe.
Okay.
Val d'Isere and Chamonix. So all of that shit just came into pass, but I put the shunting in my brain, and now I mentioned earlier that I did my second hike, the 18-mile hike, and I'm going to subsequently do more.
Love that.
So all of those things being considered, so you never not working.
Yeah.
You never not working. The sad thing was I had to get my place. I gave up my apartment in Paris
Mm-hmm.
early 2-3 years ago because I wanted to get this place in Saint Etienne and to set up as an Airbnb.
Yes. Yeah.
And but the right wing moved in. The politics of France collapsed.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, it was rough
and
there, yes.
yeah, and it was very close to Le Pen's academy, military academy. So I decided not to do that. So now I have no place in France, which I'm going to have to amend that.
Yeah. Heck
And
yeah.
but all said and done, I'm feeling great now. It's like it's
Incredible.
seeing you guys and seeing that we have a future pleases me no end, because journalism is not. You don't go into journalism because you're going to be rich.
No.
You never, and selling a picture for $100,000 shocks the hell out of me as much as it does you. And but I've sold, been selling the fine art things, and you can see some of. You want to cut to some pictures?
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Do we want to? Yeah, we can do that. There, we can actually utilize this. I guess we can cut and utilize this this camera.
Yeah. And I'm posting out these ones that are sold of actually the ones. Let me open up this drawer here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, you have to open the first one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, pull out that book. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Close the door again. So these come out as limited edition. Like this one, these are so 3 copies of Winter Marcellus in
Nice.
at the theater. I'm the same client frankly he's in France. He wants to purchase ones I did of Ellis Marcellus and with Branford Marcellus in Tokyo.
Wow.
We're making a movie, so
It's a
he
great
wanted-
shot.
Yeah, this is one of Chad, which is
Wow.
coming soon. This is Chad Bosman,
Oh man.
and that's been pre-sold. I'm always selling 25 editions of certain pictures. This is my biggest seller over the years. This was
Really?
in the 80s, yeah. I mean, nothing to brag about, but it's probably well over $150,000 over the years. It's only 2,500
Wow.
mostly. But this is called the 37th frame, and it's in film you only have 35 frames.
Yeah.
So this is a lucky shot. They came pure street photography.
Wow.
This was a kid from one of my Grape Street things who owned 35 houses in Grape Street, and he was lieutenant. His uncle was lieutenant, and in the gang, and so he had a toy gun shaped like with the
Shaped
bullet
like a
in
shot
it.
off.
A sawed off.
Yeah.
That really had a real, really could shoot, and they would
Ah.
do this and this kind of thing. So this was a
Oh,
picture.
man. Ricky.
Ricky. His mother, one of these. This hasn't sold. I mean, not selling, but this is
Mary Jane.
Mary J.
Yeah.
This is a movie we did for Prison Song.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Mary J. Blige was really fantastic. Elvis Costello, but Q-Tip was the one who I taught Q-Tip how to use a Leica.
Really?
And he wrote a song dedicated to that, and we shot like a month in prison systems in Philly. And very good movie. Unfortunately, I only saw it on BET, which had commercials. It's the kind of movie that does not make commercials. This is a book that just came out,
This
Boys
one
in
here?
the Hood, and yes, one of the things. The lady actually my name wasn't on this book. Someone called me from New York and said, hey, congratulations on your book. I said, what book? She said, your book, your pictures are used all over, all pictures, and here are my pictures. So I called her up. She's a writer out in Pepperdine. She apologized professionally. Is doing another book that is included. She interviewed me for it. But she got the pictures from Sony, who only put my name on the cover of the press kit, and didn't put it on each individual picture. So it was a oversight, but still, it's
they're amending that for you.
Yeah, she is, and she's a very nice lady. But I mean, all the pictures in there are all my pictures.
Oh man,
so
these are such classic images that this one specifically is one that just hip hop history you're showing here. Let's show it this way so we can actually see a little bit. But like hip hop history, that's such a prominent image. This is crazy. Just black history, black culture right here is incredible.
And you see it on shirts and
all the
everything
time.
all the time.
Absolutely.
And I don't get money for pictures I do on set for a camera, the main camera, and the publicity. I don't worry about that.
Well, why is that?
Well, you're hired to do
a job,
to work for hired to do that. But the ones I create, like taking Ice Cube away from set, shooting him by the car, that's my creation. The stuff of Ice Cube in South Africa, that's my creation. The picture you see behind you of Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes. That's yours.
We shot that in a garage. I had to rent the garage across the street from the set. So those are my creations. I shot a whole series of pictures for when we made a movie called Kingdom Come.
Yes.
And I took the girls and shot them. I put up the Dubuting partition on the soundstage. And I said, nobody's allowed in here because I'm shooting in black and white. I told the studio I'm shooting in black and white. The other camera I used for my large format, I was using the RZ 6.7. I used that. That's most of my posters. I shot well over 1,000 posters easily. Wow. Yeah, and everything from menace, but things you don't even recognize, and all over the place. A series of you're gonna see what's going on.
Biker Boys, all over. And what was your favorite film to shoot on?
The one I had the most fun on, I always liked working with fish. We did a movie called Tuskegee Airmen. I did a book for that. Yeah. And we fell
I see you have the posters here as well. Some of the
you don't recognize that poster, this dollar, whatever. We'll pull that out and see what that is. Yeah, that was his poster.
This guy's funny.
Yeah, he's funny, and that's another poster. So we made a movie called Tales of the Hood with Clarence Williams III. It's like I like shooting posters because you have to work a lot harder on it. If you have a lot more creative team, and I usually give credit to the team, but Kingdom Come, we had that's the poster for it. I had to shoot 10 of the Eagles in one setting, one place, and LL Cool J, the Whoopi, and the Jada. That's the challenge of it was phenomenal. Shooting. Now I didn't shoot the unit work, which means you're there every day, but I shot the poster for Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
So
another classic.
Yeah, and that won the first poster from the Hollywood Reporter called the what's the trophy up there? It's called
Key Art?
Key Art.
Variety.
No,
was it the Variety?
Hollywood Reporter.
Hollywood Reporter?
Key Art Awards. And that got a lot of fanfare. Bamboozle, for instance, Spike Lee, and I worked with Mr. Art Sims, a great art director, talented person. He used to not live with him, but work with him enough so he could almost live with him.
Right.
So I've done a number of things with him. So we collaborate, and even his brother is a photographer. We actually collaborated on Bamboozle. He was shooting Faison on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and I was shooting Tommy Davidson on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We collaborate that. So the challenge of that makes a lot of fun. It's a fun thing, and and if you look over here to this clock, I was explaining that last week. That's a blimp, and we shoot before that would make the camera quiet. So we were shooting DSLR, and that was the mainstay. Every photographer had to have 2 or 3 of those cameras to shoot on set, and so they made it quiet. It cost $1,000, $2,000 for the box. And when silent mirrorless cameras came in, boom, it blew the market. But that's just in the last 5 years. Before that, every picture you ever took, so you carry around 2 big boxes with you all the time.
Right.
And those kind of things. But it's been fun. The journey of life is exciting. The nice thing is I used to dream about being this reporter, take around little portable typewriter, go to your hotel room and get your notes together. And all the people I used to say, oh yeah, Sylvester, this and that, it's so cool. Now so they're envious of me because when you ask me that, I can just take it to my vault and say, hey, this is the picture. This is what we did. This is the picture we did in South Africa. This is the picture we did in Uganda. This, and that's fun. And it's and it's exciting. If you look over at the far side, you might take an insert on this later.
Okay.
You see a picture of this gives you an idea of what goes between editors who I had the most admiration for, of Truman, of Gary Sinise playing Truman.
Yeah.
And that's the metal plate that the picture is actually used to print.
Yeah.
And
wow.
so my editor, this is for HBO, asked me to do the work. I think we were in Kansas or so, and went in and to introduce myself to the set. First person you have to deal with is the first AD. He's in charge of making things run smoothly, keeping things going, who's going to give you the time and the space to do anything. But I said, the paper, Kansas City Star, wants to do a spread this weekend, and they did a portrait of Gary in costume. So I'm just getting on the set, and it's like, okay, well, Dave, we don't have time for this, don't have time for that. We have, okay, after we arranged it, they give you 15 or 20 minutes. It's really great. So because I knew my editor at HBO needed other shots too, the general classical shots, etc. So I set up 3 shooting areas. Just like you asked what's in that box. Each one's a different lighting kit. Each one. So I can set you up next, and walk you through 3, and you think you've been in 3 different studios at the same time.
Wow.
And so I set up her with highlight. I set up her Gary with deep light, with really going hard. And then I set him up a standard portrait, right, which is above the head, makeup and everything. And so the first AD brings Gary in, and I don't know Gary from Adam, and I said, we gotta get these shots off. And I told the first AD, and he's under his time constraints. I said, okay, all I need is give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He said, oh, no, I can't. 5 minutes. That's all I know. It's impossible. Everyone takes half hour and tell me 5 minutes. I said, no, I tell you 5 minutes. I mean 5 minutes. It'll be 5 minutes. So Gary comes on set. He's in costume. So I had to make a quick decision whether to go for the standard soft box look that they can use as a general squid, which is nice, or I can do a 1:3, which is a standard portrait shot, or I can do your high dramatic, high key, and make it almost a 8, 5-to-1 or 8-to-1 ratio. And so I said, well, let me blow these people away. I don't know what possessed me, so I shot 8-to-1. And it was like all of a sudden, which means I'm focusing on his this is almost on his jacket, making it really dark and letting his face blow away. So the shot came out really that dark. His jacket goes black. You can barely see him. So my editor gets it the next day, and she said, "Hey, we got the shots. We don't have this. What happened?" I said, "Listen, I told her the story." And she says, well, okay, I understand. And the next day is the paper puts out, says, okay, on Saturday, they double spread it. They double spread it in the cover of their magazine. And then the library, the Truman Library calls me and says, where do you get that shot? We know you've been doing your research in here, but we don't have that shot. I said, no, it's not you, it's Gary. Yeah. And then the third thing was the family got together and decided to honor the shot from the paper, make it a reward, and have them sign it. Gary signed it for the director and everybody, and they gave me a copy. And meantime, my editor at HBO says they couldn't have the point any clearer, could they? I said, no, actually they could not have. So it was like those kind of things you have to make judgments on all the time. But also I don't do. I'm not known as the easy, sleeping carrier or whatever. When they asked me to shoot, we were doing a movie for HBO called baseball in black and white. I think they changed the name, Soul of the Game. So we did Soul of the Game, and they give me these instructions from New York and says, all these comps. Comps are compilations of art directors, what they're really shot to look at. Mm-hmm. So they give me these comps, and they have, we need a Dial Dodger uniforms for Jackie Robinson, for Josh Gibson, and Satchel Paige. And I said, they were not on the same team. They don't have them. And so no, just shoot it. I'm saying, damn, And we need the lead. we need Jackie Robinson in the front. I said, this movie is more about Satchel Paige. And so the crew, I don't know who brought me into their trailer, said, hey, they're trying to tell us that they want you to shoot this like this. And I'm saying, no, I can't. And I'm telling the director, I said, that he knows I'm upset. I said, I can't violate my journalistic ethic. I said, I'm not going to get these uniforms. So that, so I got known as the bad apple. Haven't worked for HBO since. And because I refused to shoot them the way they wanted to be shot, even though they would have changed it and everything, which is, at the time they could have. But anyway, those kind of stories.
Okay, so we're going to push the timeline down and make your transition.
And I know we have to also, time's coming up, because I know I have to even put some more money in my meter from here.
Whoa, okay. All right, well, let's take a break.